Hi, speed quizzing hosts. Right, we're going to look at a tutorial for one of the more controversial speed quizzing features called fast track or fast tracking. Some people think it's a great idea, some people aren't so sure. We'll explain why it's controversial in a bit, but the first thing to do is there's a couple of things you need to check because otherwise you won't have access to fast tracking. So you need to click on preferences and firstly make sure that simple mode is not enabled because simple mode would hide the fast track feature. And then you need to click on the fast tracking tab and make sure that you do tick enable fast tracking and the fast tracking wheel. Okay, the fast tracking wheel adds a new dimension to fast tracking in version 5, the new speed quizzing software. Okay, there's so many different ways you can do fast tracking, so I'm going to show you the way I would do it. I would recommend that you do it, but there are people who do it different ways. The main thing is explaining to the players what the fast track means, and what I say to them, right, on the rare occasion that the top 3 teams who are currently doing best on the leaderboard, on the rare occasion that they all fail to get the question right, then the fastest team from the teams below, instead of getting bonus points, will jump into first place. And that works well for me. It just means it hopefully only happens average about 3 or 4 times a night at the most. And it does what it says on the tin. It means the teams down below are less likely to get disenfranchised because they don't think they stand any chance of getting to the top. So I'm going to start by opening a keypad round. I probably should have mentioned at the beginning that the fast track feature works with keypad rounds, not really with anything else. It's a keypad round. So start the keypad round. You're going to want to see my devices on the side of the screen so you can see what I'm doing. I'm not going to read the question out because you all know how it works. This is just for demonstration purposes only. I can see there that the correct answer begins with G. So I'm going to put some answers in whilst the 10 seconds going down. Four teams answer correctly. You can see that 2 of them are in the top 3, so it wouldn't be a fast track. The only time we get a fast track with my rules is if all 3 of them teams are either black or red, meaning that none of them got it right. The correct answer is G for Germany. And for the fastest correct answer, the bonus points go to Friend Face. But now I'm going to orchestrate a fast track in this demo situation, so I can now see that the correct answer begins with F, and I'm going to make sure that none of the top 3 teams that we can see on there get the question right. Okay, 2 teams answered correctly, but as you can see there, none of the top 3 teams got it right. 2 of them got it wrong and 1 didn't answer, so that does create a fast track. So I would, as normal, I would say 2 teams answered correctly. The correct answer is Falcon Crest. But this is where it's different. At this point, instead of just saying for the fastest correct answer, the bonus points go to Maurice Moss, I would say we've got a fast track situation and big it up a little bit. And I would say, because the top 3 teams didn't answer correctly, the fastest correct answer is going to jump into first place. And I hit the green button. Maurice Moss. And the crowd go crazy, and it plays a little sound effect and the buzzer sound. So that's how the fast tracking works. Now, why is it controversial? Of course it's controversial because some people who take quizzing seriously don't think a team should just be able to jump into first place just by getting one question right at the right time. Personally, I think in some situations where you've got big prizes, you probably don't want to be doing fast tracking. But when it's a fun quiz where you know you're not playing for huge prizes and the emphasis is on everyone having a good time, then I think the fast tracking is a good thing to do. I don't think it should happen too many times, and I think there should be a structure to it. I don't like it when you see a host who just decides, I'm just going to give that team a fast track because I like them or because they haven't won for a while. I think that does make a bit more of a mockery of the whole thing. There needs to be a structure to it. You're getting a fast track to it for a reason, in my opinion. But then when it gets to the last round, then there is the argument that it does get even more ridiculous if you can jump into first place just by getting one question right at the end. So what I tend to do, which I think is a good way, and I know a lot of people do it, is for the majority of the quiz, you just use the normal fast track where you would jump into first place. But when you get to the last round, you change it, and you would, with version 5, now we've got the wheel, and you would say, right, for the last round, it's going to change a bit. Instead of just jumping into first place when you get a fast track, you'll get a chance to spin a wheel where you could possibly jump into the top 3. And this is how you do that. So questions on the screen. The answer is B, so I'm going to put the answer in. So as you can see, only 1 team got the question right. 1 team answered correctly, and they're not in the top 3. So we'd announce that you'd say, right, 1 team answered correctly. The correct answer is B, Stockholm. And we've got a fast track wheel situation. Because the top 3 teams didn't answer correctly, the fastest correct answer, instead of getting bonus points, is going to get the chance to spin the wheel. Instead of hitting the green fast track button, you hit the purple fast track wheel button. And you'll see now it's got their name, it puts it on their screen, you get a little bit of excitement going. Now when you click send wheel, you'll see now that a different wheel from any wheel you've ever seen before appears on the screen. Now, the important thing to see here that the team Richmond, who get the chance to spin the wheel, have an option not to spin it if they don't want to. So if they might be near the top, they don't have to spin it because, as you can see, there are options to lose points. So you would say to the team, you would say, right, there's 2 buttons on your screen. There's spin and pass. Do you want to spin the wheel or do you want to pass? And they can look on there and decide, do I want to risk losing 10, 20 or 30 points? And in this instance, they're going to decide to spin the wheel. The crowd go crazy, bit of tension. It would also be on the live screen if you're using the live screen. So they can either lose 10 points, lose 20 points, lose 30 points, or jump into first, second, or third place. So what's it going to be? It turns. And they've jumped into second place. And that's how the fast track wheel works. Now, as I've mentioned, they could have passed if they wanted to, when and absolutely nothing would have happened. But they did spin the wheel. Now they're in second place. Now, I think it's a really good way to do it, is to do normal fast track for the first few rounds if you're doing fast tracking, and then implement the fast track wheel on the last round. Some people I've seen doing the fast track wheel all the way through, but to be honest, if you do the fast track if you do any kind of wheel more than half a dozen times in a night, it can get a bit tedious anyway. So it's a great way of doing it. Use the green button. Normal fast track into first place, that's what I would recommend, and then the last round use the fast track wheel. I hope that tells you what you need to know. Thank you.